More information about the Bank of France and Ripple is coming out. We are going to talk about all the connections right now. You will also learn some information about France and Ripple that isn't being talked about online right now. We will also look at some data. Just now, the Senate passed the Genius Act. What's next? We'll also talk about some news about Ripple's biggest partner. I know a lot of other things too. Let's start with the Banque de France. The digital euro has to work with ISO20022, and the French central bank is thinking that, an XRP could be used to make it happen. That's why we're seeing more and more people working on this for a while, but I really wanted to know if France was going to pick Ripple. What other technologies are they looking at? What are we going to do with all of this? What's the next step? Let's answer all of those questions. Here's the short version. It has become well known that the Bank of France is looking into how Ripple's XRP system could be used to make a central bank digital currency that works with the digital euro. This has been talked about in a number of reports, and recent updates from the academic and business world have confirmed it. Yes, I know that France has really taken the lead in the European Union since the UK left because of Brexit, but I don't know much about politics in the UK or the EU. If France goes ahead with secret information and Ripple's tech, another very strong thing that could happen is that other EU countries might feel safe working with Ripple on their own digital currencies. I know what's real and what's not, so let's try to figure out what's being said. The CPA Australia report said that the French government was considering Ripple and XRP as possible platforms for releasing the digital euro. They did this because the platforms met the technical needs of the central bank. This is something else you should think about. They won't choose a technology that can't work with other technologies. And they see XRP as a bridge asset that can be used for many things. As a market CBDC, what it means that the French central bank, if a company does business or trades with banks in France and other countries, it could have a lot of different currency pairs. All of those changes can be easily made with XRP or something like RLUSD. I think this is going to be some kind of digital euro cash. Who knows what it will look like when it's all done. Here are the basic requirements for all this. The digital euro system needs to work with international standards for electronic data sharing, such as ISO20022. Ripple's technology supports these standards. This makes it easier to join the world of international payments and lets people do business across borders. Remember that Ripple has met with so many central banks that it's tough to remember them all. We know this is a big technological push for Ripple, but they've taken down a lot of this from their website. I think they are still working hard behind the scenes to finish everything and connect the world through the XRP ledger and connection. The events from this year and last year are shown below. The world is now testing Ripple's private ledger. The Bank of France has begun testing Ripple's private ledger as a foundation for its euro-based CBDC for a national CBDC in France. This is the first test of Ripple's blockchain that has been proven to work. A professional study from Alter University supports the news that the Bank of France is testing Ripple's private ledger right now, which is pretty cool. I think the EU is made up of 27 countries that work together every day to move things forward. The fact that the Bank of France is using Ripple's technology shows that the establishment trusts it. Ripple's technology is seen as a better fit for central banks' needs than public blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum because it follows the rules and lets transactions happen quickly and privately. If it works, Ripple's infrastructure could be used for bigger talks about the digital euro and entry into the market. This could make Ripple a key technology provider for the digital euro. We don't know what will happen, but the fact that they are trying should tell you a lot. Show you what else they're attempting. When I looked this up, I was surprised that there weren't any other big blockchain names mentioned in the talk. There will be names, but nothing you'd expect to see. I'm ready to start. We already know how fast Ripple is, which is one of its technical strengths. From what I've read, Swift does about 1,000 deals per second, which is 1,500 deals per second for XRP. Remember that Ripple isn't trying to become like Visa. It's not trying to become a bank that all these small users pay a lot of money to. Instead, it wants to do business with banks, financial firms, central banks, and the infrastructures of the financial markets. We did talk about how the permission network lets approved validators work, right? Major banks tested and studied these nodes up until 2016. It will be 10 years next year that they've been researching. Remember what I said about how they can't just make a system and use it right away. They have to try this in a sandbox for years and years and years to make sure it will actually work before they put their whole economy into this digital representation of their value. Here is a list of the CBDC cross-border payments that the bank has already tried and approved as we move down. I'd like to know if the Bank of France is trying any other CBDC technologies, but I think it's important to finish this study so you know it's not just Ripple. Business, take a look at this list of companies. Accenture, other blockchain platforms and partners, and the Bank of France have completed at least 12 different CBDC tests since 2020. That's why they're working so hard to figure this all out. General Subsequent Bitcoin Bank. Some well-known companies that have worked together are Saba and, of course, Tassos. That's a little strange. I said, do you see a pattern here? I asked, do you see anything out of the 5 companies or groups that were mentioned? Partner in Ripple, partner with Ripple, Accenture, HSBC, Societe Generale, and other banks work with Ripple and things like cross-border payments, security solutions, and other things like that. That's why I started this project. As I looked at each company one by one to see what I could find, I came across these 3. We already worked with Ripple. Does this have anything to do with CBDC technology? Because I wanted to go the extra mile. I was trying to figure out if they were testing their own technology or if they were working with Ripple to test Ripple's technology through Accenture. In short, they're testing their own gear and not Ripple. There's Accenture. It talks about the relationship with Ripple, the role of CBDC, and the summary. I don't want to work on this for too long. This link will be added to the report, and you can get it here and read it all. I'd love for everyone to be able to read this.